Hello and welcome. This is Cherie with Rehash Fiber, and today I'm going to give you some tips on spinning mohair. Mohair is the fleece from an Angora goat, and I have here kid mohair, which is the first shearing of the Angora goat. It is usually the softest that will be produced from that goat because it's the first one. I just wanted to work with this. I did not have an end garment in mind. I'm going to give you the best tips for spinning the mohair, but then I'm going to tell you how I did mine and how there's some variances in it. So you can prepare your mohair any way that works for you. It is long and it is luxurious. I did mine in the drum carder and I only ran it through once. So it had some little bumps and lumps and imperfections, but what I wanted from this is an interesting yarn that just had character. I didn't want it perfect. I wanted it to have texture here and there. So one time through the drum carder. Now when you're spinning mohair, the best way to do it is with a low twist and low tension. The fiber is long enough that you don't have to worry about getting too much twist in to hold it together because it's so long, even a little bit of twist, it's going to stay together. By doing less twist and more of the woolen method, you will see more of the fiber, which will give it more luster. So I'm going to show you how to do that right here. Here's the tips for spinning kid mohair. Because the fiber staple is quite long, you do not need to go fast or tight. The whole goal to keep this lovely softness is to go loose and slow, because you want to be able to feel this and not have it so tight that you only get poking in, sticking out. So here we go. I have got the Ash for Joy 2, and I've got it on its slowest ratio, which is a 6:1. And I'm going to do the backward draft. I want you to see here as I bring the fiber up and I pull it back and just let it go in. I'm keeping things nice and slow. Now you see my mohair here is just a little bit unorganized. I'm okay with that because I want a really interesting yarn that has variances in it. I ran it through the drum carder once. Now if you want yours to be more aligned, more perfect, run it through the drum carder again. And then you can work towards not having these little things. I like showing the character and I like the unusualness of it. It's all personal. So you see little bumps. Now if I have a real tiny little bit that's like a clipping, I'll take that out. So I'm doing that backward draft, just letting the twist go in gently and being very mindful not to over twist it. You can always stop those petals, get a grip on things again. Even if there's loose parts, that's okay. It's not going to go anywhere. Just the whole goal is you want to keep your beautiful soft kid mohair soft. All right, so that is how it's supposed to be done if you want to accomplish the softness and the luster of the yarn. Now, I did mine a couple other ways just because. When I first got it, I grabbed some and I started doing my default spin, which is like a medium weight yarn with plenty of twist, just like regular yarn. Well, when I touched it, it felt a little bit ropey. Now, this will be good if I were planning on a hard wearing garment, because then you want a stronger yarn that can hold up to whatever that may be. Also, if it does feel ropey, if you happen to make it and it is ropey and you don't like it, when it's wet, you can whack it on the ground, the stone, the sidewalk, and that will help to open it up and make it a little bit softer. Now I still like this, but it just does feel different. Now, the next one I did was similar, but less twist. And it is much softer and there is a bit more of the fuzz to it. Lastly was the recommended way to do it. Super soft, fluffy, good stuff. So just remember, low twist, low tension, relax into it, just let it twist it all together and you will have the luxurious yarn. Now, mohair can be used for a variety of things. You can use it for core spinning, you can make boucle, you can also mix it. And I'm sure you can think of even more things to do with it. Now, in the meantime, I will be pondering what I should do with this, and maybe I will make something with all three. I'd like to dye it, and I'll probably make another show out of that, so you may see this again. One last tip. When you've made your garment, take a brush that has natural bristles and brush your item, and you will help raise that halo and bring it out if you want a fuzzy garment. All right, moving on to some fun fiber talk. Recently, I was in Quebec City, Canada, and I just want to show it to you because if you've never been and would like to go, I would recommend it. And I just want you to see it. It's gorgeous. So of course, fiber is every part of my life. Every down minute I had, I was knitting or spinning. My husband's used to it by now. In my backpack, I always had both with me. And whenever we're waiting or just relaxing, I was doing one or the other, which is very fun for me. I did look for yarn stores and the timing didn't work out. There were a couple that were a little bit of distance away from me and not open on the days I was available to go. However, there was a lovely wool shop right in the lower part of town in Old Town, Quebec City. And I went in there to explore. It is called Charlevoix Pure Laine, which means pure wool. It is a family-owned and run business, and they deal with pure wool from the region and is from a farmer that has sheep that are crossed between Argot Redu, I don't know if I'm saying that right, and East Frisian. They hand make their garments. The shop is beautiful. Max, the son-in-law, showed me around and explained everything. It was absolutely lovely and beautiful. Now, what I really was wanting is to buy some of their fleece, their yarn, or something from their sheep. That was not available. They did have some wool yarn for sale from sheep from somewhere else, but what I wanted was from their sheep, the treasure of their sheep. That was not available. And I get it because it all goes into making their items for the store. Now, I did try to buy a display of roving, but that wasn't able to be done, so couldn't do that. Also, I wondered if they sold patterns of their items, and they do not do that either. And again, I understand. This is their store and they're selling their garments, and it's high-end and it's beautiful. It was really fun to be there and to see all the wool garments. And here's what's really cool, because you hear me talk about this, and you probably do it too, is you try to use every part from the sheep all the way to the very end. And for me, those last little bits are the little bits of wool with the dirt and VM in it that I can't use for anything. And then it goes to the forest to be bedding for the rabbits. Well, for them, when it gets right down to that little bit, they use it in the garden as ground cover to help the garden. And they really work at using every bit of the wool. So I just thought that was really great. So I just wanted you to see it, see that experience, and get a little idea what's out there. So if you end up working with mohair, happy spinning it, and thanks for watching.